Hey, you son of a bitch. Come join my heist and hunt down what I've become, because today we're discussing Season 4, Episode 3, One Rick over the Crewcoo's Morty. Is that what it's called?
Is that what it's really called?
It is.
One crew over the Crewcoo's Morty.
Okay, one crew over the Crewcoo's Morty, my bad.
Oh, good. I'm glad we got that straightened out.
Alright, so this week...
Joseph's favorite episode, I think, of all time, right?
Yeah. I do want to say, if you like this episode, great. If you're the type of person who doesn't like hearing people tear down your favorite shit, this podcast is not for you. This episode, I mean. Listen to the other ones. Give us 5 stars on iTunes. So, this episode, you know what did you guys think?
I enjoyed it a lot, but it's just one joke throughout.
I guess in a way I respected the fact that they're just like, no, it is one bit that we are going to non-stop do this whole episode, and that's the entire fucking bit. That's the whole thing. I almost respected that. I thought at times it felt like incredibly dumb, but there were parts that I thought were pretty funny. Joseph, how did you feel about this one?
Oh my god. I've been dreading doing this episode all day because...
Okay, so audience, just so you know, as I was watching this, I was like, I'm not a huge fan of this, but like there are parts of this I like, but I know Joseph is somewhere in Texas fucking screaming at his television.
That's the thing, though. I disliked this episode so much, I didn't even get angry. It didn't even elicit anger, it was just that sort of dead inside disappointment.
It's why we love you.
Wait, hang on. This is the first I'm hearing of this. Joseph, you hated this episode?
I did. I really did not like this episode.
Oh, now I'm excited to talk about it.
Alright, so...
I feel like we're all disagreeing. I was kind of annoyed by the episode somewhat. I definitely didn't dislike it as much as Joseph did, but I probably didn't like it as much as you did, Brandon.
I don't know if I'd say I liked it. I felt very triggered by this episode, but... What the
fuck does that mean?
Can you explain?
Okay, so for our listeners who haven't picked this up yet, I work in film and television in the screenwriting departments. Which is to say, please fucking hire me. I need WGA health insurance like nobody's business. But anyway.
He's a tiny, frail Jew. Help him out.
Yeah, no pre-existing conditions here.
The harsh California winters will destroy him if he doesn't get healthcare soon.
Help, it's 60-something degrees. I'm freezing. But anyway, this was so fucking accurate about what it's like to talk to people about heist movies and also the pitch meeting that they take. I sat in on a pitch meeting today. It's 100% accurate.
Alright, so now I get why there's parts of that you liked. Now here's the thing. I very much agree with Toby.
I thought you were going to say, here's the thing, fuck you.
Well, that's a summary of what I was going to say, but Toby's right, it is very much just one joke. And that one joke was like...
Brandon was the first one to say that, but I'm happy to steal the credit.
Oh, my bad. So, yeah,
I think we both thought of that independently.
It is one joke.
Yeah, it's one joke.
Throughout.
And it's not a joke I liked very much. You know, and that's normal for any episode. It's just like, yeah, there's jokes I love, and some jokes I'm like, whatever. But this had one joke. I didn't like that joke, and it just kept fucking going. I would say that for me, this is the worst episode of Rick and Morty.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Strong stance. Let's talk about it.
So, here's why. There was no joke in there that made me go, wow. The thing with Armathy at least had some good shit in there where, you know, now we're both culpable. Like, that was funny. There was just, the only joke that got close for me was when it was like, alright, now steal HeistCon, and they start ripping the dude limb from limb. It was funny, but I saw it coming.
Okay, I disagree with you in the sense that there were more jokes that I liked kind of throughout. I did like the rip-off Doctor Strange bit. I liked a few of the you son of a bitch I'm in.
Oh, you didn't like all 47 of them?
No, I did not.
Number 46, that was a great one. The others,
I also really liked the post-credit scene.
What was the post-credit scene? Because I remember watching it and just, like, saying out loud, what the fuck?
They were sitting on the roof talking about Mr. Poopy Butthole, saying, why'd you need all my students to attack me all at once to prove that I knew karate? And then it ends with, well, would have been great if I hadn't lost my job for putting my students in the hospital.
I feel like it's the student's fault, first of all.
Oh, it 100% is.
And second of all, that was the final nail in the coffin. I'm like, well, maybe the after the credits scene is going to be amazing. No. Lukewarm all the way through.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I watched it last night and I haven't gotten a chance to rewatch it. I'm trying to remember what jokes from the episode that I really liked. And I know there were a couple, but I'm honestly drawing a blank right now.
That's a bad sign.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to come up with topics, but I was just like, I can't. This episode did not make me moist.
Okay, so I will say that, like, maybe around the 18-minute mark, I was like, okay, this episode is actually terrible. And then at the end, when they revealed that this was all just a fucking ruse so that Rick wouldn't have to deal with, like, Morty's annoying, like, screenwriting hobby, that was pretty funny. But I don't think it, like, fully saved the episode for me, but it definitely, like, saved it quite a bit.
Oh, wait, I just thought of a joke that I liked. But this is obviously, because I'm me, based on the plot of 3 David Lynch movies that I pretended to like so my friends would shut up about them.
Okay, that was a joke that I laughed really hard at. Because Brandon and I have had this conversation so many times where it's just like, every David Lynch film is so beautiful, and then it's just like, he fucking fell asleep on his keyboard when writing.
That is the accurate description.
It's just like, oh, like, what's like a good, interesting, like, way to tie these characters together? Let's not do that.
I can't even really disagree with any of this. Like, I'll put it this way. There were moments that I enjoyed. The overall thing, I was just kind of like, okay, I got this, but you're still going.
Which I have to admit, like, as someone who watched Family Guy when I was younger, I appreciate when you're basically just trolling your audience.
Wait, I just realized, yeah, this was a Family Guy Rick and Morty.
It was all one fucking bit, and it was not a good bit.
As soon as you said this was a Family Guy Rick and Morty, cue Joseph, like, tearing his eyes out.
It was just a fucking, like, that was the fucking Hellman's mustard commercial. What was it? It wasn't Hellman's. Hellman makes mayonnaise.
It may have been Hellman's. I don't fucking know.
Which commercial are you talking about?
The mustard commercial that made Brandon quit Family Guy.
They reenacted an entire commercial, then they pulled back to show Peter in an editing suite just, like, explaining what the commercial was that they ripped off, and then they were like, oh, wait, no, our producers just said we can show the commercial, so they then showed it.
How much of the episode did they devote? Was it like 30-second commercial?
I'd say this whole sequence lasted like maybe like 2 to 2.5 minutes.
So like a tenth of their airtime.
Yes.
My God.
Well, you gotta admire their something.
Do you, though?
I definitely was frustrated with this episode. Like, the scene where, like, Rick at the end was arguing with the robot, and they were literally just, like, saying the same thing back and forth to each other for, like, 30 seconds, I was like, alright, this is actually not good.
Yeah.
There were plenty of other parts of the episode that I, like, the David Lynch joke, hilarious.
Yeah, there were a couple jokes that were good, but...
Oh, that and also the, leave that on for 10 minutes or you'll die, don't leave it on for 12 or I'll have to hunt down what you become, was good.
Yeah, no, that was a very funny joke, but again, that joke and the other funny joke, which I can't remember.
Rip off Doctor Strange.
Rip off Doctor Strange. Those were both in the trailer, so maybe it's unfair, but I'd already seen them.
I know there were other jokes that I did like. I thought it was pretty funny when he was just like, no, I'm not getting a guest pass. And then they go on this, like, ridiculous quest to fucking find, like, 3 other people for them. And then they go and they're like, all right, what's the heist, Rick? He's like, that
was it.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
I'm not saying it was completely not funny. It's just there were no jokes in there that got me. There were no jokes in there that made me go like, yes, this is a Rick and Morty episode. It was just...
There was no, you monster, I thought you were masturbating.
Exactly.
That is the standard we hold this show to.
Yeah, or like, come on, join us in the poopin'.
Don't you want to join us in the poopin'? Yeah, there was no joining us in the poopin'. There was no anus bomb. There was them tearing the dude limb from limb, but that, like, I saw that coming a mile away, and it was, I'm worse than hate. I'm just lukewarm on the whole thing, and this is my least favorite episode of Rick and Morty. It's okay for a mid-season episode to be substandard, but come on, not like this.
I'll give some background information. This was written by a new writer on the show named Katie Delaney. Katie has never written an episode of TV before. This is the first time she's worked in the writing department. It looks like she's mostly on like production design. So I'm very curious, like, since like we've seen like new writers this season, but the new writer for the last episode,
the old man in the seat,
had at least written on Harmon Quest before, so I can understand like how he like transitioned over to Rick and Morty. I'm not sure exactly what the story is here behind Miss Delaney's like jump over to Rick and Morty, but yeah, this was her first episode of TV.
Yeah, this episode was...
It did feel a bit like a spec script.
It felt like the kind of spec script that wouldn't get you hired. I'm sorry. I know that this is like her first fucking... Okay, now I'm angry. You've done it. You've done it. You got me angry about it.
Toby, just sit back and relax. Joseph, keep going.
Like, I get... Okay, it's her first time, and I don't want to, like, tear her to fucking shreds because she's not perfect, but... For fuck's sake, like, it was just one goddamn joke, a single joke that was not that funny over and over again until it was, like, late-term Family Guy levels of not funny.
Late-term Family Guy?
You mean like hospice care Family Guy?
Yes, hospice care yes.
Joseph, can you please keep ranting? I'm so aroused when you're angry.
It takes so much pressure off us.
Again, I feel really shitty being like this mean to somebody because it's like her first fucking episode. But are we sure TV is for... No.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not. I would... No, we're cutting that. That's...
No,
No, we are not.
You
I'm
don't
not
have to cut that as long as you,
any
like...
sense of the word. Like, that's just being mean. Like, there's no joke there. That's just being a dick to somebody.
We know.
She can't even, like, write us back in retaliation because whatever she wrote would be awful.
Oh my God. That would be amazing if she, like, tweeted us.
Oh, God.
She's on Twitter.
That could have been a great B story. I feel like just the bit went on too long.
Horseradish is good on some things, but this was just a plate of horseradish.
Oh, God.
Not enough roast beef for you.
There was no roast beef whatsoever.
I feel like how you feel about this episode reminds me of something that Jeremy Clarkson said on Top Gear once when he was reviewing a car, like, basically this car that they called, like, the worst car in the world.
Oh, I remember this thing.
It was basically just this, like, awful, boxy, like, boring thing. And the three hosts were talking, and they're just like, the worst part about this car is that it doesn't have enough character to be genuinely bad.
Yes.
It's, like, so bland and so meh. That's not how I felt about this episode, by the way.
No, that is spot fucking on how I feel. It's like, I had such a hard time. I had to take Viagra to get this angry.
Oh my God.
And you didn't even share.
Now I learned multiple things of what Joseph's feeling right now.
Oh, God. Editing out the fucking, like, masturbation noises is going to be a nightmare.
Sorry, Dan. By the way, shout out to Dan who mixes our podcast. Thank you.
Wow, he's going to listen to this and just be like, what the fuck?
So, we can either talk about the guest stars or we can make Joseph mad. Either way, I'm good.
We're going to make Joseph mad. This is gold.
Let's try and talk about the guest stars. I'll be back with more, I'm sure. But you guys go on
you just
ahead.
have to pop another couple pills?
Yep.
Okay, first up is Claudia Black, who voiced the ventriloquist, who actually has done a lot of video game voicing, so I'm a fan of hers.
Who is she?
She was on Farscape, multiple things of that. She did voices in Uncharted 2, Wolfenstein, Call of Duty, like a ton of video games.
Oh, wow. She's done a lot of, like, high-profile video games.
Yeah, she's got like a ton of credits to her name. There's Justin Theroux, who's been in a ton of movies, including David Lynch films.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, he was also on Maniac most recently. Pamela Adlon voiced the Lara Croft knockoff character who had like bionic hands.
Oh, her, okay.
And now, finally, the man of the hour, Elon Musk.
I can't believe they got actual Elon Musk to voice. I don't know why he said yes.
It makes perfect sense. Like Rick and Morty
Musk.
is like,
of course he does.
Is like right up his fucking alley, like nerdy and science fiction and dark. Like
he loves putting himself there. He has literally played himself in Iron Man 2, The Simpsons, The Big Bang Theory, South Park, a movie called Why Him, and Young Sheldon. He loves playing himself. And now Rick and Morty, where he is also playing himself, except with tusks.
Like, knowing that was actually Elon Musk, I like that they sort of insulted him in the script.
Which part?
We needed an Elon Musk figure, but ours can be a handful.
They didn't hit him very hard, but...
I mean, he has a pretty good sense of humor. I feel like you'd find that funny. He made some random comment and Rick's just like, "You're being too quippy here, Elon."
I remember at the end he was like, "See, but this is actually why I'm to tell everybody about the dangers of AI."
Yeah, I bet he loved getting that shit in there.
Which in Chinese means love.
My audio got heisted. It just stopped recording, so we missed some good stuff.
Are you blaming the writer of the show for heisting you?
Yeah, she's behind it.
Yes, she heard us talking shit about her, and she hacked my computer and hit pause. One thing I will say is it's good to see that Beth and Jerry have Rick on a shorter leash. You know, they care enough about Morty and his dreams and whatnot to be like, Rick, if Morty gives up on this dream, it better be of his own volition. So I did like to see that.
I mean, that's the problem with Rick as a character. He's just, like, so powerful that, like, no matter what obstacle you place in front of him, he'll figure it out. So he basically found a way to, like, incept Morty into not wanting to write screenplays. Shit, Brandon, one of us should fucking do that to you.
No, you shouldn't.
For the bit.
I don't want it to be done for the bit.
You're yelling about this like it's possible. Like I could actually do that to you.
Yeah, there's no way you'd stay organized enough to do that.
Well, what you didn't know is we've already done it. Banana. I don't remember the song, so
So for episodes 406, 407, and 408, the descriptions are up on IMDB, and I have to read them to you.
Okay.
406, the description is, Rick and Morty find a magic squirrel and travel to space where they do some over-the-clothes stuff.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm excited for that.
No, 407 isn't that interesting. It was mostly for the squirrel over-the-clothes stuff bit. Point being, what the fuck?
So the squirrels are coming back, I guess.
I mean, it's Rick and Morty. Has there really not been a bestiality bit yet?
There was a giraffe. He fucked a giraffe.
What are the descriptions for 404 and 405?
404 is Claw and Hoarder Special Rictums Morty, and the description is Special Rictums Morty. Morty gets a dragon in this one, bruh. It's a wild ride, bruh.
Oh, that's the one where the trailer where, like, Summer is asking Rick, like, "Are you gonna slay the dragon?" He's like, "First of all, I always slay it, queen."
And for 405 is Rattlestar Rick Lactica, and it's lots of things in space, bruh. Snakes and sharp stuff.
Oh, the snake. With the snake in the spacesuit.
Yeah, that's still on the IMDb page, but we've been burned before by that.
I don't know if this is a good time to say this, but I feel like we should say, who's the writer of this episode?
Katie Delaney, I believe.
We have all dabbled in comedy writing, and it is genuinely painful to get criticism on your work. So I think I can speak for all of us when I say, like, keep at it, Katie.
Yes.
We didn't like this episode, but, like, I'm sure you have a bright future in comedy writing. Like, just keep at it.
Look, they hired her. Of course, I'm sure they see potential in her.
Yeah, and there was some funny shit in this episode.
Yeah, I want to be absolutely clear. I have no ill will towards Katie or towards the show or towards this episode. I would have preferred something else, but, you know, it happens. Not every episode can be a winner. I don't mean to be as harsh as I'm being. I just didn't like this episode.
After all that, no, you did mean to be as harsh as you were being.
I was
we're okay
angry.
with it.
Baby, I'm sorry. I got angry, you know.
Jesus.
You were blackout horny, and then afterwards you felt shameful.
Okay, so that's getting cut.
What does blackout horny mean?
You know what it means.
Oh, we all do.
Every single person knows what Blackout Horny is.
I don't know what Blackout Horny is. What the fuck are you talking about?
You ever been so horny that you stop being a functional human?
No. I jerk off regularly.
Do you know the...
But if you've ever just not had the opportunity to, and just until you do, you just kind of forget that you're a human.
So, anybody got anything else? Any insightful things to say? What do we think next week's about?
Law and Order, what do you think?
Morty gets a dragon, so why the fuck's it called Law and Order? Do you think, like, it's gonna kill a bunch of people? Well, obviously it's gonna kill a bunch of people, but do you think it's gonna kill a bunch of people and Morty's gonna, like, be trying to hide that fact because he wants to keep the dragon, because it's a motherfucking dragon?
What if they just continue this heist bit for the rest of the season?
That would be kind of funny. If next episode they do it, it'll be funny the first time, but after that I will shoot myself.
We hope that this isn't indicative of the entire season.
I am confident that it's not. There's not a chance it's indicative of the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm not, like, worried about the rest of the season.
No, I'm not like Rick and Morty's over. Everybody burn your fucking noops. I don't know.
Race war.
First race war, huh, Summer?
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Daily Squanch, our non-daily Rick and Morty podcast. You can find our podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Pornhub, Google Play, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. We'll be back after December 8th for Season 4, Episode 4, Law and Order Special Victims Morty.